Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining today's session. The past few months have been extraordinary, with all of us having to adapt to the new normal. Both SRC and RCY have carried out many changes in terms of their day-to-day activity. Today, we'll be discussing RCY's response to COVID-19 and the dengue outbreak. Let's start with a round of simple introduction. So, hi, I'm Fahan, one of the co-hosts for today.
Hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm the other co-host for today.
Hello, this is Leighton. I'm looking after the Red Cross Junior. Happy to be here today.
Hi, my name is Daryl, and I'm currently the Assistant Director of RCY UG Operation, which manage the links and cadet-related activities.
Hi everyone, I'm Edric, one of the Assistant Directors at RCY Chapters. My RCY volunteering role involves helping to organize and provide support for chapter events across tertiary institutions.
Hi, I'm Regina and I am the Assistant Director for RCY YM at Districts, and I currently handle activities in the North District.
7 months ago, right, the first case of COVID was actually detected in Singapore. And since then, many steps were taken to contain the COVID-19 spread. With circuit breaker, right, there was like safe entry and then everyone had to wear masks. And this has become the new normal. The Singapore Red Cross has also contributed towards the efforts to fight COVID-19, both in and outside of Singapore. So for example, the Singapore Red Cross actually sent masks and hand sanitizers to the dormitories, and also contributed customized care packages to some 1,000 seniors who are currently beneficiaries in our services such as Elder Aid and Home Trust. So today we actually like to focus on RCY's actions to actually fight COVID-19. How has your individual RCY division contributed towards the local COVID-19 response?
I think for juniors it's kind of tough because by the age group of the children, right, we cannot really do a lot of things because we need to follow very strictly to ACDA's advisory. For the longest time, right, we can't head into the school and we can't carry out or we can't bring them out from the schools to do related activities. So what we are doing is very, very limited, and we kind of really rely on the teachers on the ground a lot. For the Red Cross Junior, they are doing the first year curriculum mostly on the care topic, caring for the elderly, differently abled and safety. And because of this COVID period, we have one module extended. So it encompasses things like hand washing habits, and even we have a song singing to the tune of Rain Rain Go Away to talk about hand washing, and also at the end of that song to thank all the frontliners that are working so hard and tirelessly on the ground. These are the little things that we are able to do, although not through the staff effort. We work closely with the teachers to deliver such messaging, especially hopefully when they are young, they learn to appreciate the frontliners. The other one that we have done more is to have them to write a thank you card, or a care card go into the care package that the youth member. So this card goes inside the packet for the distribution pack that is going out. So we thought that since they can't do much, perhaps they can pen or draw nice messages for beneficiaries that we are giving out pack to. So not a lot, but at least we hope at the end of the day, the little ones can learn how to actually take care of hygiene through the little efforts that or little curriculum that was extended to them.
Wow, sounds really interesting to have the small little children actually participating in the little ways that they can. And I think just now, Leighton, you did mention about how they were doing up some of the card writing. That maybe Regina, you'll be able to share a little bit more with us on how the cards were actually used.
Okay, so for the YM, we actually come together to create this welfare pack where we actually tackle COVID-19 and dengue. So in this welfare pack, it consists of simple items like mask, hand sanitizer, insect repellent, and then we actually give this out to elderlies that we actually visited through vulnerability mapping last year through our events. Like what Leighton said, she actually also added in this little card. So when we do the distribution, the beneficiaries get these items with the card, and then they will have a whole set of items that will be helpful to them during this period of time.
Wow, so it's really a care pack that prepares the elderly for forever. So there's like the masks, the sanitizers, and also the mosquito repellent. Maybe let's hear a little bit more from the UG side.
For UG side, we have to think off the ground and make changes to our syllabus because CCA cannot be run normally. So what we have done is to lessen the workload of the teachers who have taken on the additional role of the HPL, and we make decision to suspend the EUA, which is Excellent Unit Award in 2020 because of the requirement that they can't meet. So we managed to provide continuity of teaching during the CB period, so the cadets can continue having CCA just like how they have in school.
Seems like a lot has been done to help to facilitate CCA back in schools, given that I think there was also a period of time where schools were kind of closed, and then we had to do HBL, and it was everything was done very quickly So I think what your team has been doing and what the UG division has been doing to help mitigate the issues that teachers are facing in carrying out CCA. Maybe you can hear a little bit from Edric as well. What has the chapter side been doing?
So similar to what Daryl and the rest have mentioned, COVID-19 has changed the volunteering environment as well as the school regulations. This has also reshaped our areas where we can dedicate our service efforts. Since then, chapters has been embarking on several methods to organize events. So, for example, we have reduced mass gatherings as well as set in place some of the social distancing measures. On top of this, we have focused on areas such as caring for the elderly who live alone, as well as support for the lower income households through food aid distribution programs such as Project Rice Plus. So we have also encouraged ground-up initiatives to brighten the days of the essential workers such as healthcare staff, bus drivers, as well as cleaning staff through our Project Courage Acts of Kindness, or AOK in short.
I understand that this has been an ongoing project since April, and back then about 30 of the youths actually bonded together from various chapters to come up with this ground-up initiative. So if you could share with us a bit more about what is Project Courage AOK?
So we have been inspired by many other ground-up projects in relation to this pay-it-forward idea. At the start of the onset of the COVID pandemic, our youth members had dedicated resources to prepare flowers and handwritten appreciation cards to thank our essential service workers. And besides that, we have also encouraged our chapter members to do something nice for the people around them in their everyday lives. Because of the circuit breaker and the various phases, and as such, we have moved on to a more decentralized model. And we hope that we can have various acts of kindness that are being passed along, which would actually go a long way.
That's right. I think because chapter started out with the act of kindness, right, it kind of like take off with the whole Red Cross youth. So we have the juniors writing cards, then inserted into the care pack. Then we also have the UG starting the act of kindness, the YM starting act of kindness. So it became something that is a really important campaign, especially at this point of time, especially with the lack of social interaction. It's very, very important to be there, showing kindness to one another. So for juniors, right, we have them to pen down and write very, very cute cards and the writing or even messages in various language. When we insert it into the pack, the hope is that once the receiver, the elderly receive them, right, when they are reading it, it kind of like give them the fuzzy and warm kind of feeling, and they know that they are probably not alone, and there are people who are still around caring for them.
For the past 2 or 3 weeks, I actually see my Instagram flooded with a lot of entries from the RCY UG units, especially with regards to Project AOK. So maybe Daryl, you can share a bit more about what they have been doing behind the scenes.
For UG side, we give them a tagline to post on Instagram, which is physically distant and socially close. So they can just up to their creativity, but we just want to encourage the cadets to just care for the people around them during this time.
I think I also saw a lot of these posts on Instagram for the UG side. I think they had a bingo template for them to do various acts of kindness. I did see quite a number of UG units actually coming together to send positivity to each other during these trying times.
So how has your RCY division adapted to changes brought about by COVID-19, both internally and externally?
For YM, maybe internally we have done everything online, like our meetings online and like our trainings online. Externally, we really reduce the number of volunteers and ensure that we have safe distancing and make sure that they have masks, do their proper health declaration form. For operations, it's also quite tedious on our side because of the 5-person rule, right? So we actually try our best to segregate them the moment they actually arrive, or if not, we put them to report at different destinations at a small number, maybe 4 per location kind of thing. So we actually try to do our best to comply with all the regulations.
Okay, it's good that we are still carrying out these activities, especially towards beneficiaries that need it the most. Maybe you can move on to UG side. How are you adapting your daily activities in light of COVID-19?
For UG side, we have been liaising with the teachers on the training date and stuff to conduct home-based learning through Zoom platform or maybe Google Meets and stuff. Yeah, so to prevent face-to-face interaction with the cadets. Operations side, conducting Zoom meeting online to plan out the syllabus and make upcoming changes for all our events and ensure that the operations can still go on with this pandemic around.
Next, we shall move on to chapters. They have been changing in terms of how lessons are conducted. For example, I see things like welcome parties online.
So maybe one of the upcoming projects is Project Rise Plus. So our project director, Samantha, as well as her team, has been working tirelessly to adapt to the COVID situation with our partner organizations. So a greater focus has been placed on social media campaigns instead. And I feel that one really interesting one would be this tips and tricks series, where we have engaged a senior nutritionist to create cooking recipe infographics using the Project Rise Plus food items. And also, the team has created video demonstrations of the various recipes. So I thought that this is something that's refreshing from the various previous iterations of the Project Rise events that we had. And also, we have been moving our fundraising efforts from the traditional mode of gathering donations from the shoppers from supermarkets into digital online platforms. Through this, we hope that you would continue to help support like the overall Project Rise Plus efforts, especially in this year where we can't really do like face-to-face outreach and distribution and publicity.
So moving on to Leiting, how has COVID-19 changed in terms of how juniors, when they go back to schools, is there any difference?
So for juniors, right, we actually rely a lot on the teachers to be the one distributing the curriculum or to teach the curriculum. From last year on, we actually insert an element of us heading into school to do interaction and to promote more of the curriculum. We thought of wanting to do it this year more, like once per quarter, heading to all the Red Cross Junior clubs. Because COVID happened, we couldn't do that. So it was quite a disappointment. Hence, we have been working with the teachers, especially when it's beyond just care for the elderly, differently abled and safety. Now we have the added component for caring of the frontliners. We also have planned to actually have them, to invite them to the campsite for the humanitarian trail. It is like kind of an experiential journey that we thought will excite the little ones a lot. But that has been put on hold. We are hopeful that, once COVID settles, we are able to bring them in small groups to visit the humanitarian trail. So what we have been doing instead at the staff level is we really go on full force crazy to produce more collaterals, more magazines, more publicity stuff, so that when we are ready to head up, we can really bring all our barang out, in a road show, and to make it better outreach in terms of visual.
The current situation, it really made us have to do a lot of changes to what we have already planned previously, and then now we're using a lot of online platforms and like what UG side and chapter side and YM side, everyone all mentioned about moving online. Other than COVID, right? Because I think COVID has been a very big part of our lives since the start of the year. But another portion is also dengue. Yeah, so I think with 23K in the first 7 months this year, compared to the 20K in 2019, so how prepared are we to meet dengue, given that a lot of efforts are still focused on COVID-19? While COVID-19 is still a major part of our lives right now, but dengue is also starting, it's on the rise as well. Now is dengue season. So I'm just wondering, how has your individual RCY division contributed towards the local dengue response?
So we actually go to the elderly homes, and then we also educate them a little bit about do the 5-step mosey wipe out and make sure that you guys try to eliminate all sources of mosquito breeding. Okay,
so on and off, we've been hearing about this 5-step mosey wipeout. So Leiting, can you share a bit more about what the juniors have been doing?
I think for juniors, right, it's really, really a lot of advocacy. So children are actually very young, right? You just need to flood them with a lot of knowledge, a lot of gimmicks, a lot of song and dance, and they do fantastic. So what happened is that coincidentally last year when we were producing our Red Cross Junior magazines, mosey or the vector is one of the topics that we want to introduce this year to add on to the curriculum that the juniors are having. So when we distributed the Red Cross Junior magazine, one of the section actually talks a lot about the 5-step MOSI. So we have them to recognize in terms of activities in the Red Cross magazine. It's kind of like activity books, right? So we have them to do coloring sheet, and then also an activity to have them to spot the breeding ground in the common HDB area. So the children were really fantastic, So because we are hearing from the teachers that probably with the national movement and the national campaign, they already know about MOSI 5-step wipeout, but at their age, right, if we give them the activities to do, right, they became superb with, they will go remind everybody that, hey, you need to overturn the plant, the pots and stuff like that.
So speaking of colouring, I remember last time I got very involved in colouring. Everything was I want to colour on my textbook, just and whatnot. So I think it's a very good way for us to force the message in terms of stopping dengue.
Yes,
for UG, I understand that you are doing a dengue awareness campaign as well.
We kickstart a dengue awareness campaign. We get the cadets to educate the public on the different thematic of the dengue in Singapore. And the twist of this is that the cadets will execute an interesting gameplay, so such as a board game. So we also have step up our dengue prevention on our Red Cross campsite, such as regular maintenance and check. Why we are doing so is because most of our Red Cross events are held there.
From what I can gather so far, the RCY response has been tagging along with the 5-step MOSI wipeout in terms of our awareness campaign, both on social media as well as within their own individual unit trainings. I can see maybe colouring activities especially for the juniors to reinforce the message. For the YM, we also contributed in terms of the welfare pack, for example, like what's this thing called?
Mosquito repellent.
Yes, mosquito repellent. Okay, yeah, I can see that we have been tackling it from many fronts, and hopefully, I understand that the cases have been increasing because of lower immunity because of the DEMV3, but hopefully we can bring it down to a controllable level.
I think one quote from our Secretary General, Mr. Benjamin Williams: these are extraordinarily trying times, and it is critical that we intensify our efforts to uplift the most vulnerable in our community who are amongst the hardest hit. And so I think we want to find out a little bit more on what are some of the upcoming projects or changes related to COVID-19 or dengue that your RCY division is coming up with, or things that maybe the rest can actually look forward to, or that you would like for people to support you in.
Okay, for YM, we are still distributing our welfare packs, so we really do need help. So if you are interested, you can always join us. We will send out emails. We basically still have East, West, and South district area. So if you are interested, you all can just register the link. Okay,
so for those who are watching this, if you are living the East, South, and West, if you want to help out, you can go and check out your emails to register to help out in the distribution. What about for chapter side? Edric, you want to share with us a little bit more?
Alright, so for chapters, we have Project Rise Plus, where we are recruiting volunteers, committee members, as well as we are also gathering donations for our cause. And also another project that I would like to share would be the Singapore Humanitarian Youth Symposium, which is SHICE for short. On this day, our youths would gather together to discuss about societal topics and the roles that they can contribute in. So in previous iterations, we have touched on various themes such as social inclusion, urban poverty, blood donation advocacy, as well as migrant worker welfare. For the year of 2020, I would foresee that there are further topics that we could further explore, such as COVID, dengue, and other associated topics. For this year, we are looking towards organizing an e-symposium in the near future. Yeah, so maybe you could keep a lookout for both Project Rise as well as SHICE.
Wow, I think with the e-symposium, right, it will allow a lot more people to access the symposium itself. So hopefully we'll have a lot more people joining us for the upcoming symposium, and for others to also volunteer for Project Rise Plus. Maybe we can also hear a bit from Daryl on the UG side. What upcoming projects are there?
Yeah, so for UG side, apart from the Project AOK and the Dengue Awareness Campaign, we have the ongoing fund for Humanity campaign. Again, this is spearheaded by our RCY units. And what is this aim of this campaign is to raise funds for the vulnerable in the community, even more for this period during COVID-19. And the campaign is currently up on give.asia. So we can have you guys that is watching this video to maybe go and support us in this give.asia.
Wow, so it seems like there's really a lot of online e-fundraising kind of activities that we're moving towards lah. Okay, so maybe later you can share with us also about what upcoming projects are there.
Yes, I think the online way is the way to go. For juniors, right, we are also looking for a way to reach out to the juniors via the e-platform. So we're actually in talks with preschools at the HQ level to see whether we are able to implement such. With the e-platform going on, right, that would mean that we actually need a lot more volunteers to help us in terms of delivering Red Cross Junior curriculum via online ways. So you can imagine you are like the facilitators of training, delivering the Red Cross Junior curriculum, doing activities with the juniors on Zoom. Imagine them 5 and 6 years old on Zoom, for example. So it's going to be exciting, it's going to be challenging, but if you're up for this challenge and if you really want to join us, let us know. We will link you up and we will share with you more of our plans.
Wow, I do hear a lot of disruptions in our daily life as compared to what we can do in the past lah, like really just going out without wearing masks. I think sometimes for me lah, I go out and I forget to wear my mask and I'm like, oh dear, let's find a mask somewhere in my bag or something or whatnot lah. And I think it really has affected us quite a bit, especially with the work from home arrangements. Some of us, I think we did have we needed quite a bit of time to get used to the work from home arrangement, because you don't get to talk to your colleagues who are like sitting beside you. Your lunch break maybe just in front of the computer, and then there's also the Zoom fatigue where you just stare at the computer the whole day and have meetings after meetings, from what I hear also. Yeah, so I personally hope that this pandemic can end very, very soon. What are your hopes and aspirations for Singapore lah?
So I think as a nation, I hope that we could continue to do our part through our various social efforts to make progress in the fight to conquer the COVID and dengue situation.
Okay, for me, I hope that even after this whole pandemic, that we can all still remember all the good things that we have been doing and continue doing it.
My hope for Singapore is that we remain to be a kind society, being kind to everybody, being caring, and I think it goes a long way. That is my only hope lah at the moment.
Yeah, so my hope is we just continue to do our part as a nation. Yeah, and like what three of them have mentioned, okay, they took all of my points already, but it's okay. The most important I want to say is we also not to take things granted, because maybe when we get out of this period already, we will take things lightly again, and who knows, maybe there might be a second wave. So
okay, and I think we've almost come to the end of our sessions. So maybe to end off, to wrap things up, right? Because it's still August, so August is like it's Singapore's birthday lah. So even though it's past 9th of August, we still want to wish Singapore happy birthday, cause like let's take all prepare already. Okay,
Yay.
3, 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday,
Singapore!
Yay! And then we are done!
Yes.
Thanks, guys!
Are you guys going to take like a group photo or something? Somebody?
Oh yeah,
like,
we can always take a group
sake.
photo. Farhan, you can do it. Everyone look at your camera like you're taking an IC photo. Wow!